Okay, so much has been spoken about who brings what to the table and um, how competence is basically calculated with output. All right, so let's dig into what the visual capitalists, shouts out to them for doing the research, speaks about in household income between the blue, the red, and the swing. Swing states can go either way. Okay, like after a few beers at the bar, end of the night.
Come on
Okay,
now,
anyway,
dog.
right. Let's go to the key. If you had class and you knew how to map out certain charts, there's also a key that tells you what the information translates into. All right, let's go. Red states tend to have the lower incomes, with economics relying more on agriculture, manufacturing, and natural resources. You know what? And I salute and praise those hardworking people in the red states. They make sure that the food is output is good. There's lots of manufacturing jobs. The warehousing is a big thing. Um, Small mom and pop stores. Make sure you definitely go in there and you support them. To the highest degree. Your support on a local level means so much on this grand scale, right? But they also have been victims. Yes, victims. VICTIMS. Victims of outsourcing for so many years. Why? Because many corporations and entities of the capitalist field and free enterprise, and you have that right to do that, would rather get the cheapest labor possible. And if it's not all the way prison labor, because there's a lot of misconceptions and misleading information on that area as well. If they can't get the most cheapest labor with the greatest output, chances are they're not going to be able to compete on the world trading scale, which makes this whole thing count and why you shouldn't alienate, people that you do good business with, right? Try to spark some leverage and stuff like that. That's interesting. So we'll deal with the worst producing um, income or GDP in the state is Louisiana at $58,000. That's roughly what the average is amongst all the citizens. That's what the average is. All the citizens put together, and you get an average of how much everyone makes. But no, Mississippi's at 55,000 GDP. Okay, let me get to the blue states that generally have higher household incomes driven by urbanized, diversified, and service orientated economies. And this is where the rubber meets the road between the red and the blue and how they judge each other. The industrialized nations, the industrialized counties and cities, they basically are more population driven, so their resources have to be more plentiful. So they'll use their revenue to generate more community based initiatives. Um, Definitely some more state ran programs so they can not only take advantage of the surplus or of any revenue, but also be able to pay down, because once they are able to educate people and put them in the workforce, that generates more income. That generates more income. And all right, there's the competitive level of education as well. Knowing that for you to do well, you really have to put in the work. Rather than, agriculture is is it's the foundation of every country, to tell you the truth. Right. But it all depends on your performance of the crop. And hopefully, many people haven't sold their crop out to, the bigger corporations out there that, would tell you don't grow corn in this in this environment and stuff like that. So many regulations, and this is why politics comes into play. You want to make sure that your representative knows what type of crop you're growing and if that is available. The marketing of it is certain. It's a situation. Also, you may not want to put chemicals in it. Farmers markets, make sure you get your stuff from there because they know the guidelines and they understand where they sit in this whole big pecking order. And that's usually on the good level for the affordability and the great quality that they bring. But I digress. The highest in the nation is, what's this? Massachusetts at 107,000 GDP. Now, this is very important. And then the swing states. Let me go back, because swing states, they definitely are a vantage point. They definitely are. They actually decided the last election. And unfortunately, it was based upon more propaganda than data. But that's a whole nother story. All right, what do we have here with the swing states? The highest in the GDP you get is 83,000 in Arizona. All right, and there's background information on this as well to figure out what are the demographics in each one of these localities. And mostly between the blue and the swing state, you get a high, with the high diversity count. There's many people working. There's many cogs in the machine that's working there that are able to deliver more taxable income, which is revenue, to the cities and the counties. And here in this democracy is no taxation without representation. So you're able to get representation off the taxation. As long as you're bringing in and contributing something, you have some great say. And 8 out of 10 times, it's the blue states that have been contributing more to the country than the red states. Oh! That's just the facts. Don't talk to me, talk to the numbers. And now on to the rest of the article by visual. U.S. median income, blue, red, and swing states. Okay, to 2024 U.S. presidential election will be determined by over 186 million voters. The outcome will likely hinge on a small group in a few key swing states. They're telling you where it started. I just mentioned that. This graphic shows that the median household income in 2023 by state categorized into blue, which is the Democratic, red, Republican, and 7 swing states, which was in gray. Blue states generally have higher incomes. Blue states generally have higher household incomes driven by urbanized, diversified, and service-oriented economies. Pardon me. This is showing you. This is real time. All right, this is not a fluke. This is not hyperbole, rhetoric. This is real time. Many blue states exceed the national median of 81,000, with states like Massachusetts and Maryland reporting average incomes over 100,000 a year. And then you see this list right here. The highest red state that you see is Utah, which has a whole different formulation of economies. And I remember Mitt Romney is actually from there, from what I understand. I'm not sure. Put it in the comments if I'm wrong. Blame it on the brain, not the heart. The next red state is Alaska. And without even being spoken about, we already know what Alaska has. Okay, then you say blue state, blue state, blue state, blue, all the way down. So, in contrast, this is the conclusion of the visual report. In contrast, red states tend to have lower incomes, with economies relying more on agriculture, manufacturing, and natural resources, hence Alaska. Several of these states fall below the national average. Aforementioned Mississippi, Louisiana. Kentucky is a third. However, exceptions exist on both sides. New Mexico, blue state, has a lower income of 61,000, while Alaska has 98,000 and Utah 101,000. Now, I just spoke to you about Alaska, natural resource. New Mexico, it's mostly desert. It's mostly, grassland. It's not something, it's not the state, a go-to state for these type of things, natural resources and what have you. All right. So when you see charts, again, as I said in the top of the slide, when you see charts, go to the key, understand what the key is providing. Also look in who is doing the research, or what entity is doing the research. Take what they have in consideration. It could be a 2022, it could be a 2023, it could be a 1989, it could be a 2025 projection. You look to see where they stand on this, and as far as the accumulated data. And then you start to go into the chart or the bar graph. Okay, I hope this helps you out. And listen, in this whole arena, we're all American, regardless of what you may look like, what your culture may be like. You're here now. You're here. What is your contribution? And hopefully you're giving back more than you take. This has been my spiel. I am True Omega Sun. This is the Sunspot. So I hope you gain some some little clarity, and basically some more wisdom and nuance in these discussions, because it's really tough to hear people just speak because they have lips, when the data shows exactly what's going on, and the data shows what needs to happen. Okay, these are proven. When you could bring evidence, proven studies and situations. Let's get to it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Salute and wellness.
While you're here, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications that there's new content. Also, we share air, so feel free to share this as well.